I am live on Instagram and Facebook. How is everyone? How is everyone? So I wanted to come live and talk about something that kind of like occurred to me, like this aha moment in talking to a client. And it's that we have what I'm calling the Great Misconception. There is a huge misconception that we are supposed to make time to eat healthy and to exercise. Like we have this idea that the goal is to make time. Everyone talks about making time to exercise and to eat healthy. When the reality is that we're supposed to prioritize first eating healthy and exercising and seeing what kind of life we get as a result of that. The reality is we're supposed to be living a life that is the result of us eating healthy and working out. And do you understand that difference? Is it making sense? You know, right now we actually prioritize everything else. We prioritize, we prioritize work and family and friends and school and social media. We prioritize our mood over our health and fitness. And the results are that we don't look and feel our best. And then we end up feeling bad about ourselves. And it just, it's just this self-perpetuating thing that we're in. And I thought of this analogy that will hopefully make it make sense. So ladies, have you ever started packing for a trip, like a weekend trip, and then you realized you have that dress, like that amazing dress that you want to take on your trip? And it's the kind of dress that you have to wear out of town because it's like so extra. It's the kind of dress that you probably only wear on vacation. But your carry-on bag is full and you can't fit the dress into the bag. But it's the dress of your dreams. Like this trip requires this dress. And you know that you have to be in that dress. And you've got all sorts of crap in your suitcase. You've got probably the more sensible things that you need to take on your trip. And it's full, but you know you need that dress. Now, what do? You don't just say fuck it and leave the dress behind. You actually go back through your suitcase and you reprioritize what you're going to pack. You end up taking everything out and repacking your suitcase with that dress going in first. And what happens is, a few things can happen. Once you've emptied the suitcase and reprioritized that suitcase with that special dress going in first, you may find that everything else you originally packed, it still fits in. You may find out that there was some BS that you had packed that you don't really need and you end up leaving behind. Or you might find that you packed way too much of the sensible stuff that you need and you're going to throw some of that out because you don't really need it. It's just stuff that you're comfortable with. It's just stuff that you're used to packing. But the point is that you have to unpack everything, make sure the bag is empty, and repack the bag with the most important outfit going in first. And then you see where there's room left over for whatever else, right? And when you get to the island, it's not for 1 second that you think, oh my gosh, I wish, I hadn't brought this dress. You're so happy that you took the time to reprioritize your packing and bring that dress because you feel like this shit. You're walking around there shredding your stuff. You feel amazing. The only regret would have been is if you had not taken the time to reprioritize your packing and take that dress. Now, I hope that analogy makes sense because that's exactly what happens with our health and fitness. We have to repack our life with health and fitness being the priority. And then we see how everything else fits into it afterwards. So yes, we have to plan on things changing. Right now, we kind of want our lives to stay exactly the same. And we just fit in health and we fit in fitness in these places. And it doesn't work that way. We have to plan on things changing. And when we plan on things changing, we might find that there was some BS in our life that we're okay with getting rid of. We might find that we're just used to holding a certain rhythm or a certain pattern, even though it doesn't really make sense. And those are things that we can get rid of. But the point is that once you've repacked your life with health and fitness as the priority, and you're taking this trip, you're going on this trip, this journey of life in your new healthy, fit version of yourself, you're going to thank God that you took the time to reprioritize. And your only regret would have been that you didn't take the time to reprioritize. Does that make sense? Like, this is not about finding time. I can't stress that enough. This is not at all about finding time. This is about reprioritizing. It's about saying that my health, my fitness is important to me. And so I'm going to eat as healthy as possible, as often as possible. I'm going to work out as much as I can. I'm going to move my body, but I'm going to treat these things like they're important. And treating these things in a way that's important means that I'll be taking actions in a way that shows that these things are important to me. And then we'll see what the results of that are. Does that make sense? Now, like right now, we're just doing it completely backwards. We're prioritizing all the junk that we complain about and fitting health and fitness in afterwards. Let's put health and fitness here and reprioritize everything afterwards. Now, saying that might make people feel some type of way, right? We've got jobs, we've got people who are important in our life, we've got friends and family, we've got things that we need to do. So the idea of wiping all of that clean and making our first priority health and fitness might make you feel some type of way. But here's what you're going to do. I want you to think about that. Like, we're thinking, oh my God, I don't have time. How many times have we said, I don't have time to work out? Pause right there for a second. Think about that. When you say, oh my God, I don't have time to work out because fill in the blank. What's going to happen? Like, really just take a moment and really assess that. Like, when you think, oh my God, I don't have time to work out because, what are you filling that blank in with? What in your mind is literally the worst thing that's going to happen to you? Like, write it down. Like, actually sit down, get a piece of paper out and play over these thoughts about you going on this health and fitness journey and you telling yourself that you don't have time because finish that sentence and write down all the things that come to mind. And I really want you to think about that. We get so caught up in the emotions of the fear and the stress. But we need to like kind of finish that through. What is the actual fear? What is the actual stress? What are we actually concerned about? What do we really think is the worst thing that's going to happen? So make a list of those things that flash across your mind. It's like, oh my God, I'm too busy. I don't have time to work out because if I do, you'll lose your job. You'll lose your relationship. You'll never see your friends again. I mean, sit down and finish that thought. Like, write out what are the things that you are really afraid of. I mean, I don't know, but you need to know what are these fears that we have that prevent us from taking care of ourselves. And once you have that list, the first thing you're going to do is take a look at it and ask yourself, is this true? Like, is it true that if I make time to exercise and eat healthy, that I'm going to lose my job? That I'm going to lose my relationship, that I'm never going to hang out with my friends again? Like, write those things down and look at it. Is it true? And if it's true, well, are you okay with that? Are you okay with losing your friends or relationship or your job because you've decided to prioritize your health? Because if you're okay with that, well, then there's no risk. There's no risk. You can just, go ahead and do these things. Like, we're making these huge life decisions, and your level of health or fitness, your level of commitment to your health or fitness is a huge life decision. And we're making these huge life decisions based on a fear, and we're not really thinking that fear through, So like, let's give that some thought. Now, what if you aren't okay with losing those things? What if you're really not okay with losing your job, your partner, your friends, your family over prioritizing your health and fitness? If you're not okay with that, well, that's fine. Like that's just good for you to know. That's a good data point for you to be aware of, because many of us think that we value our health and fitness, but what you value is not based off of what you think. It's based off of your actions. How you actually live is demonstrating what you value. So if you really value your health and your fitness, but you put your partner or your friends or your job over it, what you really mean is that you aspire to one day value health and fitness. But right now, these other things, my friends, my family, my job, those things are more important. And again, that's okay. There's no judgment there, just creation. There's no judgment there. There's just the results. And that's good. It's good that we know that about ourselves. It's a little bit of exploration. Wow, I couldn't talk there. No one's questioning your values, because for some people, community is huge. For some people, they can't imagine their lives without their friends or their family. And so the idea of prioritizing their health and fitness over that is just not acceptable. And that's fine, but you need to know that about yourself. Just understand that what you value and what you prioritize leads to a result. And what you value and what you prioritize has you in the space that you're in right now. So if you don't like this space, well, then you've got to do something different. You've got to value something different. You've got to prioritize something different to get a different result. Does that make sense? And the good news is when it comes to your health and fitness, it's pretty readily accessible. You can reach out and grab it at any time you want. If you choose to value and behave in accordance with prioritizing and valuing your health and fitness, then you'll get a different result. But I get that taking that step is scary. Deciding that you're going to first prioritize these things and see where everything else falls after that, see how the dominoes fall, like that's a scary idea, because what if you do get it wrong? Right? What if you do lose everything? Like, it's a little ridiculous, but I get it. It's a real fear that we have kind of way back there in the back of our heads. If I actually take the time to exercise and to cook this healthy meal, I might lose everything, right? But what if you get it all? What if you have it all instead? It's possible. I kind of feel like that's what I do. That's what my clients do. They decide that they're going to give this shit a try and go for it all, but there's really only one way to find out. It's going for it. You have to trust yourself. You've got to trust God or the universe, whatever you believe in. You've got to have faith. You've got to trust the process. You've got to enjoy the journey. You've got to have your own back. It's all of those motivational quotes and inspirational saying. It's all of those things. But this is the opportunity where that idea, where these things can go from being inspirational quotes to you being the inspiration. That's what these moments are. That's what these moments are. So that's it. That's all I got. The world tells you that once everything is done, you can then take care of yourself. Well, I'm here to tell you that you need to take care of yourself so that everything can get done. It actually works in reverse. A lot better. A lot better. So that's it, you guys. I appreciate you. Those who made it to the end, I'm going to go pick up my kid now. Have a good rest of your Thursday. Bye-bye.